Inside linebacker, Reuben Foster, my number 7 ranked player on the board, is a.
All right, we are watching the NFL Network. Just got back from my daughter's play at Quigley Catholic, the Children of Eden. It's going to be there all weekend long. Congratulations to Mrs. Zach and all of those great students at Quigley Catholic. Now, more entertainment, but the National Football League. Greg Diulis is with us live on our Comcast Sports Line. And Greg, it has been a very interesting evening, but I want to begin with news that's just trending. Crosby gets 2 goals, Bonino gets 1. Ovechkin did score, but it was a night for number 87 in the Pens. They win their opening matchup in the conference semifinal against Washington, the final 3-2. So a nice win on the road for the Penguins.
Sounds like it was a real nice win, Rob. It sounded like Fleury had a real good evening for the Penguins, and it's nice to kind of break service so that now home ice advantage is basically flipped, and the Pens have, in essence, home ice now. So a real good start to that series.
All right, let's go down through some of these players. And by the way, first round's still underway. And the last time I checked, the Lions were on the clock at number 21. We'll get back to the NFL Network in just a moment. The Browns, no surprise, took Myles Garrett, Texas A&M.
No, absolutely no surprise there, Rob. The little surprise started to occur right thereafter, though, with the Bears jumping up into the 2 spot and grabbing Mitch Trubisky, who everybody thought was also a Browns target. So the draft got kind of chopped onto its ear pretty much immediately with that move in the 2nd pick.
Yeah, he's a young man from Mentor, Ohio, and he goes to the Chicago Bears. And you got to believe Coach Fox is just tickled to death to have what could be a franchise quarterback, Greg.
Sure that they felt that it was a neat type of move for them. And yeah, this is a guy that they've done a lot of research on, only a 1-year starter at the University of North Carolina, but a guy that really has, emerged on the scene. And we talked about him earlier on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show, where, he really kind of established himself with the move during the game against Pitt this year.
All right, the Niners go to number 3. Thomas Solomon, a defensive end, 6'3", 273-pounder. He is out of Stanford. Now, number 4, the first running back taken in the draft, the Jaguars. They are, putting their fortunes on the future of Leonard Fournette out of LSU. All I can say is 6 foot, 240 pounds of nothing but muscle. He is a north-south smash mouth football player.
Joins a backfield that has our guy there already, Chris Ivory. So, the Jaguars are loaded at running back unless something happens with a little bit of a trade or some other type of movement. But, this guy is just a man mountain, every bit of 240 pounds. And really, he's not a Le'Veon Bell type running back, Rob. This is a guy that's just going to, Earl Campbell you to death.
This is the great Greg Diulis on the Comcast Sports Line. He is following the draft on the road, and we are back here at the Pratt Pack Gym putting a little cherry on this Sunday that, folks, the draft will go right through the weekend, and we'll have the latest, of course, in our sports reports on Saturday and Sunday morning with me, and then, of course, the guys, Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show at 11, and all weekend long on 93.7 The Fan. Steelers tonight will have the 30th pick overall. Let me just kind of go through the next few and give me some of your thoughts. The Titans from the Rams at number 5, Corey Davis, Western Michigan. He a wide receiver. And then Jamal Adams goes to the Jets out of LSU. He, of course, is a safety. You've got the Chargers, the LA Chargers, taking wide receiver Mike Williams out of Clemson at number 7. The Panthers, Christian McCaffrey out of Stanford, the running back, as everyone expected. John Ross, the speedy wide receiver, going to AFC North competitor, the Cincinnati Bengals. And he, of course, out of Washington. Now, this is where it got really interesting. The Chiefs from the Bills, they move up 17 spots to take Patrick Mahomes, the kid out of Texas Tech that we've been talking a lot about with a big-time arm, Greg.
Yeah, we have talked about him very recently, and it's interesting, Rob. I mean, I watch a ton of college football during the fall, and quite honestly, I don't think I saw Mahomes throw 5 passes this year. Really a guy that, became one of those workout warrior types where, in the pro days, the combine, and those types of things became attractive to most teams. And that's how he kind of set the world on its ear that way. So that was his move up. And a couple of those other picks, Rob, that you went over, I like the wide receiver picks that all came in there with Mike Williams, the big Clemson wide receiver going, and then as the running back, McCaffrey. And, we talked about him earlier. I thought that it would be unlikely that he would get selected in the first round, but really jumping up into the top 10, much based upon his individual workout. So a lot of things happening with regard to teams where they used to say, hey, it's all about your game film. Not as much anymore. It looks like a lot of workout stuff going on right now.
All right, number 11, the Saints take the young man out of Ohio State, the cornerback, Marshawn Lattimore. And then at number 12, Texans from the Browns through the Eagles. Here we go. My man, Deshaun Watson, the quarterback, 6'2", 221-pounder, and he's been one of the big guys that everybody's been, putting their radar on, wondering where he was going to land. And we now know that he is going to be going and playing for Coach Bill O'Brien in Houston.
Yeah, it's interesting. He doesn't seem like one of Bill O'Brien's prototype type of quarterbacks. He seems to be one of those guys a little bit more of a read and read option type guy. But has been a guy who's been productive, obviously, with a national championship at Clemson, and everybody likes his winning attitude and those abilities.
All right, the Cardinals at number 13, Hassan Reddick, linebacker out of Temple, and the Eagles from the Vikings take Derek Barnett out of Tennessee. What do you think?
I didn't know as much about him, didn't follow him, obviously the stories that were there, but I really like the Hassan Reddick pick. He's a neat kid, a walk-on, a Philadelphia kid, Philadelphia native, so getting picked not by the Eagles, but in his hometown where the crowd just went absolutely crazy. A kid who walked on at Temple and really, showed that a kid can make it big coming out of the big city.
I was listening to the great Tex Schramm and the gang on Sirius Satellite NFL Network Radio 88 heading back from Quigley Catholic tonight, and I thought they were going to pull the plug on Reuben Foster, and so did the panel, but everyone's shocked. Now, as we go to tape, he hasn't been chosen yet, and that also means that Jabril Peppers, who's kind of in the same boat, is still out there, possibly going to be around long enough for the Steelers at number 30. Any observations on that?
Licking their chops a little bit, thinking that both of those guys are available, still at this juncture. I would be surprised. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Rob, I think there's about 8 picks left. It would be surprising if those guys are still there, but if the Steelers do have that opportunity, that would really be 2 players that could solidify their defense.
Number 15, Malik Hooker, safety out of Ohio State, goes to the Colts. Ravens, they take Marion Humphreys, a cornerback out of Alabama. The Redskins, Jonathan Allen, defensive end out of Alabama. The Titans, Andore Jackson, a cornerback out of USC. And the Buccaneers get the big tight end out of Alabama, O.J. Howard. And the Broncos at number 20, Garrett Bowles, an offensive tackle out of Utah. And that's where we now stand in the first round. Again, the Steelers coming up at number 30. Observations, Greg?
Well, I'd like to see Malik Hooker getting that opportunity, Rob. That's the Newcastle kid that really had an opportunity to, cut his skills at Ohio State, having been a basketball player primarily at Newcastle. Nice article in the paper this morning. I believe Eddie Bouchette, if I'm not mistaken, I may be crediting the wrong writer, but where he did a nice job profiling the fact that Malik wanted to stay at school, and at home in Newcastle and enjoy the draft with his family. So really nice opportunity for that kid to blossom.
I got to tell you, folks, the only way to enjoy the draft in this part of the world, there you go. It is Rooney's. Check it out. Got to love that stuff. Listen, before I let you go, just as we move along through the draft and to kind of let everyone know, we said the Steelers had number 30, but you have got the Lions at number 21, Dolphins at 22, Giants, Raiders, Browns, Seahawks, Bills, Cowboys, Packers, Steelers, Falcons, and Saints. And when you see some of these players that are still out there, Deshaun Kaiser is still out there. We talked about Foster and we talked about Peppers. It may be, some good news for some of these teams as we get to the end of the first round.
Yeah, there are some definite quality still in the draft. Sorry, Rob, I got distracted there. There was a little rumble in the party area. I thought maybe we had some news happening there, so I apologize. But there are definitely still some very quality players, and that will roll into the early parts of the second round too.
Listen, always a pleasure. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you Sunday at 11 on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. Safe travels.
Sounds good, my man. Talk to you later.
Greg Diola's Vantage Management Group.